Today we're checking out the Jelly Max by Unihertz. It's only $199 on Kickstarter starting July 16th. I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information. It's got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty large for a phone this size. It also has 66 watt fast charging. It's also going to work on 5G networks. It's only a 5-inch display, 720 by 1520 resolution. Comes with Android 14 right out of the box. I want to thank them for sending this over to review on the channel. I will mention the one they sent me is a prototype, so this won't be the final software version, but it should be close enough to give you an idea of what the phone's going to be like. Pretty nice gray USB-C to USB-C charging cable, USB-C wall adapter as well. Wow, this definitely reminds me of like an old school cell phone. It's pretty thick overall, but it's also curved quite a bit, so it fits in the hand pretty easy. You've got your USB-C there on the bottom. You can see the fingerprint scanner right in the center on the back. It looks like 2 cameras on the back, flash, speaker. You've got 2 buttons on each side of the phone, volume on the left-hand side. The red button is a dedicated button, which you can customize. The one below that is your power button. It's been a while since I've done the fingerprint scanner on the back. This also has face unlock as well. You can see it has a little bit bigger bezel there at the bottom, punch hole camera there in the corner. It definitely feels smaller than pretty much all other phones that I've used recently. Here it is next to the Galaxy S21 FE, so you can see how much smaller it is. Obviously quite a bit thicker though. Left of the home screen, you've got the Google Discover newsfeed. You've got a handful of options here as far as the default wallpapers. Of course, by default, this is on gestures, which makes sense since you don't have a lot of screen space here, but you can also change this to button navigation as well. It's currently using about 16 gigabytes of the 256 gigabytes available. It's probably the closest thing you can get to stock Android. You can see most of the apps on here are the ones from Google. Surprisingly, you can watch up to 4K resolution for YouTube videos, only SD playback though for apps like Netflix. Up in the notification shade, you've got most of your typical stuff like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, flashlight, auto rotate, airplane mode, location, ring, screenshot, battery saver, nightlight, hotspot, NFC, quick share, lock screen, QR code scanner, security and privacy, and then of course you can add some other stuff on here as well. Surprisingly, performance on here is a little better than I was expecting. As far as single and multi-core scores, GPU performance isn't going to be the best out there, but this does have 12 gigabytes of RAM, and it feels like it's got plenty of power just moving around the software. You can also play games like PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9, fairly smooth on here. Definitely a little more challenging though on a smaller screen like this. I also ran my typical battery drain test, and surprisingly, this little phone lasted quite a bit longer than I expected at just over 12 hours at 100% screen brightness, so plenty of power to get you through a couple days of mixed usage, especially if you turn the screen brightness down. But overall, battery life on this phone appears to be pretty good, especially for the size. Now the speaker quality on here, definitely not going to be the best out there, and it could be a little bit louder in my opinion. Now you have one speaker on the back by the cameras and one by the earpiece, but here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. It also has a 100 megapixel camera on the back, 32 megapixel on the front. Now, for some reason, the camera quality does look kind of blue on here. I assume that's something they're still gonna have to work on. But in the camera app, you've got time lapse, video, photo, pro, and then under more, you've got QR code, mono, super resolution, and edit. It also shoots up to 4K resolution for video recording. Here's a few samples of photo and video just to give you an idea of what to expect. I feel like the photo and video quality on here definitely could use some improvement. Probably won't beat most of the other phones in this price category, but definitely an interesting device as far as how small this phone is. For anyone out there looking for this type of phone, I feel like the screen brightness could be a little bit brighter overall as well, but surprisingly it does have pretty good battery life for such a small phone. I also think the phone could be a little bit lighter, although then you would have a smaller battery, which would mean less battery life. So I know that's kind of a trade-off there. Again, this phone's going to be available on Kickstarter starting July 16th. I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.